Do you know how to stick to a study schedule or a workout routine you always plan? Do you struggle with committing to things you plan to do in general? Do you have instances of procrastinating and leaving things until the last minute? If these are part of your daily life, you are suffering from a lack of discipline in your life properly. Having discipline is not something secondary that can be ignored, it is essentially one of the most important principles of success. Even if we have 999 principles of success, none of them will yield results without self-discipline. To develop the habit of self-discipline, start by talking to yourself as if you are negotiating with a stranger you are trying to convince to do something for your own benefit. The first thing you should do for this person is to encourage him. You cannot be harsh or judgmental towards him, as he already sees himself negatively as an undisciplined person who constantly doubts his abilities. But you should tell him that what he is doing will lead to nothing, except creating a cycle of failure. Make this person see self-discipline as something natural, an ability that a person can acquire and learn, and become proficient in it over time, just like anything else. An example of this is a young boy who at a certain age would embarrass his parents because he would ask them to buy anything he sees. He has not yet learned how to control himself and his desires. However, as he grows older, his ability to control his impulses increases. Similarly, a person's self-discipline may not know how to resist easy indulgence, but they can develop this mechanism easily. Self-discipline is based on 3 major principles. The first is taking responsibility for your life. There is a direct relationship between taking responsibility and self-discipline, and self-control. In general, if you take on more responsibilities, such as responsibility for your life and your emotions, and you don't give in to excuses, complaints, blaming others for anything, you will develop personal leadership, and this will greatly facilitate self-discipline. People constantly complain and criticize, and they constantly make excuses even to the point of blaming others for not feeling happy in life. Isn't that an easy solution? But its consequences are severe. If you engage in this behavior, stop it. This will help you generate a great deal of self-discipline. Self-discipline is also based on managing awareness and time. It's the ability to choose the sequence of daily events the way you want them to be instead of letting them control you. Through time management, you can choose what you will do and prioritize it according to its importance. The key to time management is consequences. You should constantly assess the importance of anything by evaluating the potential consequences of completing or not completing it. For example, completing your education has significant consequences on your future income, work, and life. Compare this to going out with friends at night and just hanging out without a clear purpose. While you may enjoy it briefly and overcome boredom, the consequences of the latter are very short-term and won't make a significant difference in your work or life, unlike the former. You need to create a list of things based on their consequences and regularly review it. This will help you combat procrastination, which is at the core of self-discipline issues. The third principle of self-discipline is confronting fears and stepping out of the comfort zone. A person lacking self-discipline may not have the courage to deal with challenging situations that cause fear. The solution here is to convince yourself that everyone experiences fear, and fear itself is natural. Most forms of fear are learned, not innate, so we should deal with them by acknowledging their existence and pushing ourselves, even if we feel discomfort and insecurity. Over time, this will develop courage to the point where fear eventually disappears. You can also think rationally about disasters. 99% of our fears are about things that will never happen. You can do the following: first, clearly identify the situation causing worry. Secondly, determine the worst-case scenario. For example, will you lose your job because of this situation? Will you lose relationships? Will you lose money? What's the worst thing that could happen? The next is to resolve to accept the worst possible outcomes. If it happens, tell yourself, for example, it's okay if this happens, it's not the end, and I'll find a way to fix it. And the last is take immediate steps to improve the situation. Take every possible action to ensure that the worst-case scenario doesn't happen in the first place. These 3 principles were about discipline in general. We can also discuss other things that can help you with more specific discipline. For instance, it's important to set and write down your goals. The clearer your goal is, the less likely you are to deviate from it due to distractions. The problem is that most people think they already have goals when what they have are hopes and wishes, not goals. The difference between a wish and a goal is that a wish is an aim without any energy, direction, or motivation. It's like blank shots that hit nothing. So, for a goal not to be a wish, it must have 3 characteristics: what, when, and how. What is the goal exactly? When will it be achieved? How do you intend to achieve it? Create a timeline with these 3 points for your goal and keep it somewhere you can see it regularly. This will help you stay on the right track. These 3 points, especially the deadline, will put pressure on you and give you a motivational push. Also, try to anticipate problems in advance. Expect them and plan how to deal with them from the start. For example, if you decide to go to the gym early in the morning but you know you won't wake up to your alarm, anticipate this problem before it happens. Think of solutions you've tried in the past that worked for you. For example, move the alarm clock out of reach so you have to make more effort to turn it off, which will help you wake up. If you find yourself falling back on the same old habits that haven't worked for you, it will only make your situation worse, and you'll judge yourself as a failure and become frustrated. You can also make a deal with yourself. If you're naturally inclined to procrastinate, it's okay to set more realistic incentives for yourself. Establish performance criteria and reward yourself. For example, promise yourself a short break or an outing once you complete certain tasks, and if the task you're working on is significant, give yourself a bigger reward. Self-control is also like a battery, and its level can decrease or increase during different events in your life. It's not constant, and in certain situations, it can be challenged. That's why it's important to reduce nervous stress, because it depletes your self-control battery. You can reduce stress by getting enough sleep or engaging in self-care activities like taking a hot bath, walking in the park, or whatever suits you. Additionally, spend time improving your mindset through self-development. Knowledge is power, and the more you gain, the more it can help you. Read a lot, listen to what brings you closer to the version of yourself you want to become, and be curious. Curiosity is a habit of people with strong self-discipline. So, allocate some time in your day to enrich yourself. Consider it mental nourishment, just as you allocate time for physical nourishment. Also, when you start enforcing self-discipline, you may encounter challenges. You might not be able to commit or achieve your goals within a specific time frame. If that happens, don't despair. Try to learn from the experience and come out of it with lessons that bring you closer to your goal. Reframe your mistakes and view them as opportunities to learn. The key is not to give in to failure, and setbacks are expected, they are part of the journey. If you surrender to them, you won't change or grow, but if you try to deal with them and don't let them stop you, you will learn from them. When you have a big goal, your significant ambition can be a massive task for you. In such situations, try not to overwhelm yourself. No one is chasing you from behind. Scale down your goal a bit, because overwhelming yourself this way will drain the motivation inside you and make you want to run away. We don't want that, do we?